A few years ago, I was at my cousin's farm and I was trying out a dirt bike for the very first time, and I was having an amazing time. So I was riding it, I was feeling the wind rushing through, the power of the machine beneath me, and it was just all around a great time. But there's something else that happened right after I was finished riding that I remember more. As I was coming back to the farm, I hit what was probably just a bump, but for my world, it was more like a ramp. And so the next thing I know is I'm in the air and the dirt bike is no longer beneath me and I'm crashing into the earth and I'm going head over heels. And unfortunately, from this accident, I ended up with a dislocated shoulder. And for the next couple days after that, I was in a sling and I had to only use one arm for everything. And it hindered greatly what I was able to do. And in the book of Ephesians, with Jesus as the head of the church, the image of the church is the human body. So listen to what it says in Ephesians 4:16. From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. The power of the body is found when it works together for the same purpose. And when something happens to that body, when a part is missing or not working right or ineffective, the whole body suffers. And when the body is working in the same direction, it can do very wonderful and powerful things. But just like how my shoulder was dislocated, my shoulder was injured or not being used, I was ineffective. I could still do things, I could still get things done, but my body just wasn't working on the same level it had the potential to work on. And that's a really interesting theme. That's a really interesting perspective when you think about that as the local church, is that we can do things, we can always have things going, but when a part is not working or when a part is inactive, things are not as effective. And our theme right now is to do service, to work together in the same direction to accomplish the purpose of God. And that's what we're asking. We're asking, how can we all come together? So we're not missing parts, so we're not hindering one another or hindering things, but how can we work all together? For each of us has a gifting. Each of us has capacity to serve, and God provides the gifting. What we offer is obedience and stepping out in faith to where that leads. Our continued encouragement is that if we find ourselves not serving, that we step into what God has planned for us. Step up and step in. Because as much as it was annoying not to use my shoulder, it would be a greater tragedy to not see how our service could impact the world around us. Our continued encouragement is that if we aren't serving and if we aren't using our gifts, that we would step in and step up in different places. Because as annoying as it was to not have the use of my shoulder, it's much more impactful when the local church isn't using our full potential. And that's each one of us. And each one of us has a gifting and we have a place we can serve. And so we'd love to start that and we'd love to figure out how we can really impact our world.